We live in a society that bombards us with images of the perfect parent. I believe it's time to take off the rose-coloured, social media-driven glasses and look at the process of becoming a parent that might not be Instagram-worthy, but is more realistic.
We're here today to talk about perinatal mental health, so that covers pregnancy through to about 4 years old. We just find that it's one of those topics that people, it's quite hidden still, and we want people to be able to get out and share their stories, and we're seeing how powerful a shared story is.
There are so many families that are impacted by perinatal mental health. Being able to hear some of those myths being busted, being able to hear from mother-baby unit and try and decrease some of the fears that perhaps some families have.
For me, part of the journey that I'm on is being able to connect with other women to share my story. I believe in the power of speech, and so if I talk and share my bit, then maybe it might help someone else.
My wife suffered postnatal depression. We handled it really well for her, and I ignored my own mental health. How's everything going? How are the kids? How's mum? How's the baby? Everything's going fine. They turn around and say, how's dad going? My answer was, it doesn't matter as long as they are all fine. That's the wrong answer.
Are you kidding me? This is my body.
What was really interesting for me was finding the difference in the range of things that we heard. Like we heard from the Indigenous perspective, we heard from the OT, and that's kind of stuff that I wouldn't necessarily hear even working in the field as much.
And that's it, and that bringing that level of comfort to be able to have those discussions. And I think listening to the other presentations today and that idea again about sharing birth stories is that those physical changes actually, let's normalise those conversations.
Changing narratives about what's normal and what's spoken about and what's not spoken about, and particularly around, you know, women's role and women's voice, and having that being more centred in health, in strategy, in policy. Yeah, that's really important.
And I felt like I was kind of cold calling her back and coming to talk to us. And by the end of the phone call, spoke for 5 or 10 minutes, hung up the phone and just turned to my colleague and went, oh my God, I'm so inspired by that woman.
Birth matters. It matters because it is the way we all begin our lives outside the source, our mothers' bodies. The power these stories have to inform and teach not only women but midwives and other health professionals is a huge part of how birth is viewed, experienced and retold, and that however a baby is birthed from the womb, the transition from woman to mother happens internally and externally.
I found the input of the psychologist really informative, and it validated what I do as a lactation consultant.
Yeah, it was really good. I really enjoyed talking about the birth trauma. I thought that was really, really interesting. And I probably had no idea that OTs could help that much. Really, to be honest.
Oh, it was an incredible opportunity to speak to this room, knowing that what OTs have to offer really complements a lot of the disciplines here, and we can contribute to a multidisciplinary team in a really pragmatic way that digs into what people actually do in their lives.
With our central focus being achieving what the mother considers to be good health, well-being and participation in life through engagement in her important roles and activities.
Apart from the impact, the direct impact on the psychological health of mum, we also have to think about and hold in mind of how this is going to shape her as a mother. We are meaning-making creatures. We want to make sense of stuff. And part of trauma is the fact that we can't make sense of it. It just doesn't go in a nice box with a red bow and, okay, that's sorted, I can settle down now. We can't make sense of trauma. It's what makes it traumatic. The meaning we make of our birth experience will shape how we then go on to see ourselves as mothers and how we see our baby.
If I didn't get the help that I got back then, I certainly wouldn't be able to do what I am doing today, running a business, 3 children and my husband working away. Someone actually actually did say to me a few years ago, they said, you should have just been able to snap your fingers and get out of it. And I just sort of went, well, no.
We've been supporting women and their families around their perinatal mental health for the last 18 years. Pick up the phone. Our phone number is everywhere, and if we can't support you, then we will be able to put you through to somebody who will be the right service to support you as well.
Making people feel less alone is, the biggest hurdle.
Women's health and wellbeing service is vitally important, and the work that they're doing is so powerful.